Hello, today I'll be talking about Freedom in the Galaxy from Avalon Hill, the Star Rebellions, 5764 AD. It's from 1979. Design credits. For some reason, the design credits are in this almost impossibly small font, and the rules, I'm not sure why that is. Game design development, Howard Brosh, John H. Butterfield, graphic design, Redmond A. Simonson, formerly published by the Simulation Publications Incorporated, SPI. Cover art is kind of fantasy looking, I guess. It's well done. Making an attempt at like a 3D look up here. It looks good on a bookshelf. It's a bookcase game. A lot of good overview in the back here. In a remote corner of the universe, a small but valiant band of rebels struggle to withstand the repression of an empire bent on total domination. The empire, oppressor of billions throughout the galaxy, has felt the first sting of rebel anger. In the cities and vast wilds of planets circling before the stars, the sparks of insurrection are being fanned by the courageous few who cry for freedom in the galaxy. It's a strategic and tactical simulation played on a map that represents some 30 odd solar systems. Two-player game. It's got character cards, 140 of them, 400 playing pieces, half-inch by half-inch counters. Rules booklet, galactic guide, which shows you a lot of sense of what the galaxy is like, and various playing aids. Here's a sense of the map and what the counters look like. But there's the star system game, introduces the basic concepts of combat carriers and missions. Province, intermediate, increasing variables, galactic, the ultimate in sci-fi realism. So as far as the components, first of all, the rulebook, 32 pages, obviously quite involved. Then there's the galactic guide, which gives you a huge amount of flavor, which is another neat part of this game. It's creating your galaxy for you. Shows history of the galaxy, talks about the different races, which include the kinds, are a humanoid race with dog-like facial features. Purids, organized in a hierarchy of tribes, the Purids have two seemingly opposing racial traits. They originate and still live for the most part in huge artificial underground halls, and large segments of the population roam the spaceways. They are a wealthy race. Saurians, reptilian race with humanoid bodies. Saurians adapt easily to most planet conditions. Segudans, again, humanoid race possessing great intelligence, never very interested in quick expansion conquests. Segudans have limited their influence to a few planets, which they have developed to a technological level far beyond that of most other planets in the galaxy. The Sevens are an amphibious race that thrive in mineral-rich water. Xanthons, latest addition to the community is the Xanthons, a race possessing incredible strength and viciousness in hot environments. Yesters, bird-like race, thrives in clouds and wind currents of any hydrogen-rich atmosphere. And then they talk about the different sovereigns and various creatures. And for player aids, there's charts and tables, detection table, military combat results table, search table, squad chart, endurance charts, and you can make photocopies of these for the different characters here. Rebel, Imperial, and Sovereigns. Array locals chart, the races, and then other races. Character combat results table, planet control summary, force point cost chart, and hyper jump table. And one thing I really like about this game, I enjoy the kind of the art and colors of it. It's very dynamic and bright looking, and I think it works really well. And this chart is consistent with the bright colors in the map. Rebel resource track, Imperial resource track, game turn record track, and then the galactic game sequence of play record, shown here. Environ types, environ key. Then the character cards are represented Imperial and Rebel players. So in the front is a picture of the character, in the back are their characteristics. They have ratings for combat, endurance, intelligence, leadership, diplomacy, and navigation, both Imperial and Rebel. talk about their home planet, and some bonus items they have, like, for instance, Von Sky Tai receives 1 bonus draw for Gather Information mission. Yarrow Attack may repair damaged spaceships and inoperable possessions. So a couple examples, I won't show all of them, but that's what the backsides look like. And the characters, first the Imperial, Barca. For 40 years, Barca has been the Grand Marshal of the Imperial Army, both on planet and in space. Emperor Koryega was chosen to be the next emperor. Senator Dermond, Galba, Von Sky T, John Kadu, Tais Gimbo, Rajak, Saitar, Elstarov, Talman, and Jin Vols. And then the rebel characters, Zinadora, the once influential queen of Adar, Bakiega, the Pyrrhid Space Vikings, as they call themselves, are a group of hardy explorers, Ryer Durban, Setter Ganang, Drakir Grub, Odin Hobar, Ranjana, Kogas, Yara Latak, Lemintak, Professor Margag, Brittany Markuda, Agan Rafa, Scott Rubel, Dr. Suntag, Adam Starlight, Tureg, Vudat, Onesti Warda, and here's other cards involved in the game, and they're all kind of a thinnish kind of card stock. First of all, there's the mission cards. Obviously, a lot of different missions. This one, Gather Information. May attempt to learn details of enemy deployment or strategic plans. May not be performed on a planet that is controlled by the facing player if there are no enemy units in the environment. And then on the back side, you have the mission result. In this example, you have 1 mission. Letter comes up in the action deck. All enemy military units and characters on planet revealed and detected. And then it breaks out for the different types of games. So Star System and Province game. If 2 mission letters come up the above occurs and the facing player earns 1 victory point for learning an enemy secret. Collected game. If 2 mission letters come up, the above happens and the players learn an enemy secret. And then bonus draws, 1 character's intelligence. Then there's action cards with obviously a lot of different actions on the different environs. Urban, and then special and wild. In this example, the enemy agent reveals mission. The phasing player chooses 1 mission that the phasing player is currently performing in the environment. That mission is aborted, character is detected. Special, irate locals attack 1 mission group. Wild, creature attacks 1 mission group. And there's possession cards. A lot of different types of possessions, obviously. This example, Servac Mark IV. Adds 1 to the owner's intelligence rating, disables identified enemy character on the same planet. When Servac initiates disabling, roll a die on a roll 5 or 6. Servac is inoperative. Then there's strategic assignments, and these are for the Galactic game. So the strategic assignment card, it informs players how Imperial units will be restricted in their movement this game turn. The Galactic event cards, here's 1 example. Industrial disaster at Defense Concepts Limited. Manufacturer of all PDB equipment. Cancels Imperial PDB output for this Galactic game turn. So, that's some examples. And obviously a lot of different variations of what you get for the different cards. Here's the possession cards. These are all the ships. Stealth Courier, Solar Merchant, Planetary Privateer, Star Cruiser, Explorer, Interstellar Sloop, S-13, Galactic Freighter. And then these are objects. Scanner, Personal Body Shield. I won't go into detail what it says in them, but you get a sense by their descriptions. Cache of rare gems. For instance, rare gems. You may purchase any available spaceship, except the S-13. Negates an enemy gather information mission. In the same environment. Receives 2 bonus draws for missions A, C, D, E, S, F, I, or H. And then there's Medicative Tholus, Helium Drug, Scrambler, Assassin's Blade, High Energy Sniper's Rifle. Here's companions. Servac Mark IV, Charsat, looks like some kind of strange pet, Norox. And then there's the advisor android listed as object. I'm not sure why it's an object instead of a companion. Maybe it's because it takes up less space than companions, because companions, they take up a passenger space. then dice. Got a couple nice kind of sharp edged dice here. Counters, a lot of counters, 400 of them. And they're 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, regular for the time, two-sided. And it doesn't come with a tray. Nice thing is that often in these games, if you have a board-mounted map, you don't have space for a counter tray. But in this case, it's a thick enough bookshelf game that you actually have space. So it doesn't come with a tray, but this is just a tea tray I kind of customized to fit in there. So there's quite a variety of counters. Here's some of the unique ones. This is Planetary Defense Base, up and down. Loyalty and Flipside Rebellion. Some credit markers for Rebel and Imperial. Over here we have the characters. And the characters are set up in terms of leadership rating, space leadership rating, card number, and name, shown here. And these are all the Imperial characters we discussed and the Rebellion characters we discussed. And then markers for Rebel Camp and Flipside is a coup. These secret markers, there's on Planet Secrets, the flip side, there's IPOC, Imperial Archives, Dead World, Imperial Throne, Clone World, Mutant World, Welcome Rebels, Slave World, Empire Forever, Gem World, Hyper World, Industry World, and Casino Galactica. Then of course game turn marker and phase marker. And so on the unit types, one of the character types is shown here. The script in the front and in the back, it says they're detected. Rebel spaceships, on the front indicators of what they are, and the back indicating damage. And the Imperial, a little more information. They have the maneuver rating, cannons, shields, and maximum passengers. And flip side again, showing damage. Rebel military units, environment combat strength, and space combat strength, and across the different environs here. Flip side showing Rebel control, elite military units, elite, and then control in the back. Imperial military units, again, environment combat strength and space combat strength. The militias aren't mobile, these other ones are mobile. Same indicators, flip side is mobile. Quite a variety from veteran, Army Patrol Line, Imperial Suicide Squad, and the Imperial Atrocity Unit. The Resolution and Peacemaker, flip side is mobile. Imperial Sovereign, so the information there is the character combat rating, endurance rating, leadership rating. Neutral, these flip over between Rebel and Imperial. Again, it's combat rating, endurance rating, leadership rating. And the Rebel Sovereign, same indicators. Now look at this excellent board. It's 22 by 32, and it's board mounted, and it's all in one piece, so it folds up. I really like the graphics. So it's made of these star systems, and the provincial boundary lines, which are these lines, divide the different provinces. So the first province in the center here is the political power base of the empire. Each province has its own provincial government, centered on a capital planet, from which the empire exercises control of the province. The first province also contains the throne planet, Orlog, which is here. So in the star system game, the players are using only a single star system. In the province game, a province represents the entire playing area. In a galactic game, in which all 5 provinces are used, the provinces regulate the Imperial, taxation, and Imperial movement. So the whole thing's galaxy, these individual sections are the provinces. Then we'll zoom in on the star system. The circular displays the game map, for instance here, are star systems. The center of each star system is a star, which is named and numbered, for instance, Osiris. Each star system has from 1 to 3 planets. Each of these is represented by a circular or partial ring that surrounds a star. So for instance here, you see the planets orbiting the star. Each star is surrounded by a drift area, so this is the drift area. And then there's the drift 2 box outside the system. All star systems are connected by space routes. That's these orange lines connecting the star systems. In the province and galactic games, these regulate hyperjumping. Planets, there's 51 planets in the game. A planet is represented by a planet track arrayed in a circle or semicircle around the star. For instance, Orlog here. The orbit box names and numbers the planet. In the province and galactic games, units may be placed in orbit around the planet by being placed here. This corner of the orbit box may appear the term capital, throne, secret, or the name of a starfaring race. So for instance here, this is the throne planet. The political track, which is here, is used to record the current loyalties of the planet. Loyalty marker is moved from space to base on the track to show current feelings towards the Empire. The number in each space is used to assign a numerical value to each loyalty. So a S or a A is a star rebellion or Armageddon. On some planets there might be a C in the unrest. This means the planet is already rebel controlled at the start of the Armageddon scenario. An environ in the planet. Environs on the planet. Each planet has 1 to 3 environs, each with its own characteristics. All the action in the star system games and most in the province galactic games take place here. The environ size rates the environ's population and the geographic size. This rating defines the number of action cards the player may draw when performing a mission and the maximum number of military units a player may have in an environ. This would be urban with 6. On the left-hand side of the environ appears the name of one or more races. If this name is followed by a star, the race is a starfaring race. In the middle of the environment is the resource rating. This is used to determine how many rebel military units are created if the planet goes in rebellion. In the lower right-hand corner of the environment may appear a coup rating or the name of a sovereign. The coup rating is used when the player is performing a coup mission in the environ. In the upper left-hand side of the environ is the environ type symbol. There are 6 environ types: urban, wild, liquid, subterranean, air, and fire. The letter 4 clicks refer to special environs. The environ type determines which section of an action card is referred to and what type of rebel military units will be created if the planet is placed in rebellion. Affects the strength of certain military units. In the right side of the environment may appear the name of a creature. If an action card states that a creature attacks, its attributes are determined by looking it up in the Galactic Guide. So we're to set up and play. During this scenario, the province game scenario, the Empire's back door, it's an Armageddon scenario. Playing time 3 hours, 7 game turns. Franz Sentinel's efforts to swing the Egric system to the rebel cause had proven quite successful. While Sentinel returned to his distant home to try to repeat his success, other rebels moved into the province to prepare for the long-awaited rebel armada from the rumored secret base. After the rebellion on Angoff, the entire province woke up to the practicality of revolt. Even Ornig, the provincial capital, felt the tremors. The rebels hoped that if they could establish themselves on Sison, they could influence the Esters, the dominant race in the province. Meanwhile, in Lysander, the fanatical and dangerous Druthers were demanding the overthrow of the current government and the establishment of a Druidic republic, something neither side wished to see. One of Sentinel's original companions, Dr. Sontag, inspired many other rebels to strive for these ends, especially Agan Rafa and Brittany Macarta, who wished to return to their homes. So Province 2 is used, which is here. Placed BDBs as follows: Level 2 in Sison, Level 0 in Eitreg, Level 2 in Quilbron, Level 1 Rebel controlled in Angoff, Level 1 in Charkon, Level 0 in Pronox, Level 1 in Lysaida, and Level 2 in Ornig. The Imperial player receives Jim Voles, Gelba, Saturn, Barca, and 2 Imperial spaceships. He may place characters and spaceships in the orbit box in any environment of Ornig. So I have Barnaga spaceship, Saturn spaceship in the orbit box in Ornig. And then I have Gelba and Jim Voles in these environs. The Imperial player receives 65 force points worth of military units, may build no more than 3 elite units. And once you squad these points, so you go with the force point cost table to see how many you can do. Militia is 1, patrol 3, line 5, veteran 7, elite army 9, elite navy 10. So that distribution, I got 7 militia, 2 patrol, 2 line, 2 volunteers, 2 elite army, and 1 elite navy to make the total 65. And I generally distributed the militias, so unless it's a NAC control or rebel control, the Imperial starts by owning them. So I distributed the militias on the different environs, some sprinkled in with patrols, veterans in lines. Got the elite navy up in Ittrig's orbit box. Got an elite army over here in Ornig. Elite army over here in Pronox. The rebel player receives Dr. Sontag, Rainer Durbin, Brittany Mercata, Limbertalk, Adam Starlight, Zenodora, Egan Ruffna, and then the spaceships, the Explorer and the Interstellar Sloop, and 2 non-space possessions. And I randomly drew, and I got Norog, which is a companion for Adam Starlight, and the personal body shield, which Zenodora will use. And then the spaceships, so I'm going to have them all in spaceships. Interstellar Sloop can carry 4, so they'll be carrying Dr. Sontag, Rain Durban, Mercata, and Limbertalk. And then Adam Starlight, Zenodora, and Egan Ruffna will be on Explorer. And the loyalty markers are put on the political track of each world. As you see here, for the Armageddon scenario, which this is, they're put on the A spot, all indicated here. And they're all Empire controlled initially, except for Angoff, which is rebel controlled because it starts on the AC. You may place the spaceships in the orbit boxes of any 2 planets province, except for Ornig and Sison. Sell the spaceships, one with Adam Starlight and Pronox, with the other group in Angoff. The rebel player may purchase 9 force points for the rebel urban military units and place them in the urban environ of Angoff. So the rebel military units, it costs 3 force points for 2 1s, 1 for 1 zeros. But I'm going to buy 3 2-1 urban units, and those will go on the urban of Angoff, shown here. So it's 3 there. That's where all the urban military units are for the rebels. The Imperial player receives 5 force points per game turn, except game turn 1. The rebel player receives 35 force points in game turn 2. These units must enter play by hybrid jumping in game turn 2, all from 1 space route, as if they began the turn in either Rybex or Corsa star system. On each game turn thereafter, he receives 3 force points. Military units purchased with these points enter via either of the above space routes. The rebel player wins an instant victory if Oring, Sisa, and any other 1 planet are rebel controlled at the end of a game turn. The Imperial player wins an instant victory if at any time after game turn 2 there are no planets that are rebel controlled or in rebellion, and there are no rebel military units in play. At the end of the 7th game turn, assuming neither player has achieved an instant victory, the victory points total is calculated. If the rebel player has 15 or more victory points, he is declared the winner. If he has fewer, the Imperial player wins. It's set up, and then we'll get into play. Start the first turn here, starting with the rebel player turn. First, the interplanetary military movement segment. I don't have many military units right now, and I'll keep a couple on Angoff here. But I want to move some over here to support this area as well, since I want to capture a planet. Other than capturing one over here, I need to capture an additional one. So he's going to do a hyper jump to Pronox, and the distance is 1, and for the star jumping he's got a rating of 1, which is his space combat strength. If the jump is less than 1, he makes it without any problem, but since he is jumping, it's not going to be less. So you take the difference between the distance to his strength, which is 0, and then we have to use the hyper jump table and add that to a die roll, see what happens. So he jumps over here. He's going to go to Pronox, orbit box. Then we do a die roll in the hyper jump table, and you add the 0 to the die roll, see what happens. 2. He's in the region of 2 to 4, so he's successful. And now he's on Pronox, but he wants to drop down from the orbit box to this environ, this urban environ here. Since he's doing that, there's a PDB that's up, so that PDB can do a raking attack on him as he descends to the surface. The PDB on this system, though, is at a level 0, and that can't do a raking attack, so he gets down to the surface successfully. And then the military space combat segment, there's currently no military space combat going on, so we'll move to the next, which is the character movement segment. So first of all, Adam Starlight will be the captain of the Explorer because he has a higher navigation rating, 4, than the Xena. And Lai Martok will be the captain of the Interstellar Sloop because he has a higher navigation, which is 5. First of all, move Adam Starlight and Xena Adora on the Explorer. And they're going to go, there's no hyper jumping, so I don't have to worry about that. They're going to go to support this environ over here. So they'll come from the orbit box down to the surface here. Since they do that, there's no raking attack because it's a level 0 PDB. But they are, since it is up though, they are subject to detection. So they'll do the detection routine. And we'll look at the detection table here. So first, determine the evasion value of the spaceship, undergoing detection, adding together the pilot character's navigation rating, the spaceship's maneuver rating. So navigation for Adam Starlight is 4, maneuver rating for Explorer is 4, so 8. 6, D star, D is detected. Not only were they detected, but a fleet attachment may attack the spaceship. Star detected, and I'll indicate that by flipping it over to that side. But since it's a level 0 PDB, they can't be used to attack space units, so their detachment is effectively 0. So it's not combat. And then the Interstellar Sloop with the 4 characters are going to be going up to, they leave the orbit box from here to Sharkon, and they're going to go down to the 5 air environ here. So they'll go down there. It's a bit of a risky proposition because there's a level 1 PDB that's up. Then let's see if the Interstellar Sloop and its crew is detected. Go to detection table. So the evasion value is the maneuver, which is 2, and navigation, which is 5, 7, 1. So they're undetected by the PDB. Surface military movement segment, they don't have any units, so they won't be moving anymore on the surface there. And then enemy reaction segment. So he's aware there's something going on over here, so he's going to move his militia over to this area. He'll keep his army here to protect this area. So the only military environment combat we have going on here is on this urban world in Pronox. The rebels are going to assign the leader Agan Rafa here. He's got a leadership rating of 2. And also they have the benefit of having, these are urban units, so they get a +1 shift on the combat results table for that, and then another +2 for the leadership rating, since there's not leaders over here. So their normal ratio is 2 to, on defenders, 1 + 1 or 2. So that's a ratio of 1 to 1. And then you shift 1 on the right for the urban units, and then 2 more to the right for the leader. So they're at 4 to 1, and then you roll the dice. 6. So 6 combat strength points of the defender eliminated, and they only had 2, so they're going to be gone. But now the defender rolls. 1. And that's pretty significant because they lost 2 combat units there, so they're all both sides are removed. And since all of the rebel units have been destroyed, normally the remaining squad of the Imperial would attack, but since they have none remaining as well, Avalon survives. But we take off all the military units. And then if there's any organizing and board boxes we'll do that. There's none to do. Then there's the search phase. So there have been some rebels detected over here on Pronox, but since the Imperial player doesn't have any more units there to do the search, they can't do that. Then the mission assignment phase. Adam, Starlight, and Xenodora are over here. Adam, Egan, and Rofka can't be involved because he was involved in the military, but for them, I'll have them do the diplomacy mission. And then the group over here of 4, I'll have Lymontauk and Dr. Sontag do subvert troops, and Reiner, Durbin, and Brenda Makata do sabotage. Reiner gets 2 bonus draws on the sabotage mission, and Lymontauk gets 2 bonus draws on the subvert troops mission. So the mission action segment then. First we'll do Adam, Starlight, and Xenodora's diplomacy mission. So here's the action cards. So I'll draw an action card, and you look under, they're in the urban environment, and they can draw up to 3 action cards since the environment size is 3. So they're in urban, RE, local connections, expedite missions. All missions receive 1 extra bonus draw in this environment, in this mission phase. For the diplomacy mission, it's affected by the loyalty. So if it's loyal by some measure to the Empire, they reduce their draws. In this case, it's a +1 to the Empire, so they reduce their draws of cards to 2 instead of 3. But this card will give them 1 bonus draw, so they're back to 3. And if there was a D here, that would mean it was completed, but it's not. To the next action card. Oh, this is diplomacy. That's good. Would be rebels chicken out. Start rebellion. Mission aborted. Characters detected. Bummer. Okay. So they're detected, and that completes that mission. So we flip them back over to detected. So now we'll do the subvert troops by Montauk and Dr. Sontag. They're in an air environment, and they have 5. So I can get a draw of 5. Do the first one. Special environment. Enemy agent reveals mission. The non-phasing player randomly chooses 1 mission that the phasing player is currently performing in the environment. That mission is aborted. Character is detected. Again, that's unlucky. They'll randomly draw this one, we'll say. Because of that, Rainer Durbin and Brittany Mercata are detected. So I've indicated them detected there. So I will be doing that mission. And then we'll continue with the subvert troops, because that one wasn't aborted. For burning another card. On special again. So it's not G or P, so it isn't going to complete the mission. Creature attacks 1 mission group. If a creature is named in the environment, look it up in the Galactic Guide to determine its attributes. If no creature is named, the mission group is attacked by a sentry robot. So there is a creature assigned to this area. It's Drans. Then we look at the Galactic Guide. Drans, usually benign squad of flying insects, frightened by characters whom they proceed to sting. Each character is attacked once on the 0 differential column of the character combat results table. Insects die after stinging once, no break off. So then both Lymontauk and Dr. Sontag are attacked on the character combat results table on the 0 column. First Lymontauk, 4, takes 1 damage. So he loses 1 endurance point. And then Dr. Sontag, 5, also takes 1. Mark it off. Then we'll move to the next one. It's the 3rd card now. They get a total of 5. Special, again, it's not, it doesn't conclude it yet because it's not a T there. Locals raid enemy forces. Non-phasing player must eliminate one of his military units in the environment, or if he controls a PDB that is up on the planet, place it down. Okay, that's nice. They're able to deactivate the PDB. That's a good outcome. Fourth card. Special. BE. Creature attacks on mission group. If a creature is named in the environment, look it up. We already did that one, so we're not going to do that one again. Special RQ. Character is detected. Enemy and player may conduct search for one mission group in the environment. So they're detected now, so we'll indicate that by flipping them over. They can do a search because they do have a unit there. So search table, total search value, total military strength points plus leadership. There's no leaders there, but their strength is 3. Determine the hiding value on characters' intelligence rating plus environment size minus total number of characters. So their search value is 3. And then we look at the intelligence ratings. It's 4, so we'll use 4 for that. 4 plus the environment size, which is 5, so 9 minus total number of characters, which is 2, so 7. Roll on the table, so 3 and 7. So they're already in the category where they cannot be found because they're smart enough and it's a big enough place. Kind of makes sense. And then 5, which would be the last one. Special creature attacks one mission group. We already did that one. They're at the 5 that normally be their limit, but since my Montauk has the advantage of 2 more bonus draws, they get 2 more draws of action cards. And special, weather disturbances hamper enemy operations. An non-facing player may conduct no searches in the environment this mission phase. It's good to know. One more. Character is detected. Enemy player may conduct search of one mission group this environment. So they already, that was the search was eliminated by the previous one, so they can't do that. Player phase, and then we go into the Imperial player phase. Their interplanetary military movement segment. So they're going to do a couple things. They're going to move this Imperial Navy over to the Encore system, specifically over to Pronox. Move that orbit box, and it's only a movement of 1 hyper jumping, and that's well within their movement, so they don't have to worry about that. And then they will drop down here to this world. The planet's not controlled by the rebels, so they don't have to worry about the PDB right now. So we get down there. Then up here, he'll move so he'll go from Quiberon to Anghoff and attempt to drop down to the world there. Although it's a rebel-controlled PDB, which is at 1, so he has to see if there's consequences of that. So I'm doing a raking attack. It's a level 1 PDB. It's a 2-to-1 column. 6. They lose 4 combat strength, so they wipe them out as they try to come down to the surface. And then play continues. Hopefully that gives you some sense of how the play goes. So that's Freedom in the Galaxy from Avalon Hill and earlier from SPI in 1979. Obviously it's an outstanding game, especially given it was so innovative in its time. It's an enjoyable experience. I particularly like the layout and colors and flavor, and you got resources, you have characters with attributes, you got spaceships, galactic combat, land combat. If you're looking for a galactic game with also a lot of detailed character action, this is definitely one for you. I highly recommend it. Give it a 9 out of 10. Thanks a lot.